Hi, everyone. It's Carol here from Tapping Into Sleep, and I'm here with Coco again. As we've been doing some work together, we also decided to do these mini videos to show you what real life events happen that cause us to have stress that stops us from sleeping. So welcome, Coco, for another amazing tapping.
Hello.
So today,
happy to do this.
Yeah. So today you said something to me about what are we going to tap on? You just tell the world what we're going to tap on today.
My kids keep waking me up at 5:30 in the morning.
All right. And so that's a normal event that most parents would go through with their kids waking them up too early. And so when you think of that, my kids are waking me up at 5:30 in the morning. Like, what are you feeling about that?
A lot of frustration
Okay.
because I cannot go back to sleep.
Okay. And so we talked a little bit before this. And so I know that your kids don't usually wake you up at 5:30, but because of renovations and stuff that's happening in the house, that's what's the cause behind this.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's temporary, yet it still causes frustration in the moment.
Yes, because
So-
sometimes it's at 5:30 and in different occasions is at 12 or 3 a.m. So it depends on what is going on with them.
Yeah, which is a normal parenting thing. But right now, so this morning, they woke you up at 5:30 again. I know you're tired. So
For a whole
right now, all week. But let's just think about this morning again. So putting yourself back to this morning, them coming in to wake you up at 5:30. What is the emotion that you're feeling right now thinking of that?
Frustration, a little bit of anger.
Okay.
Because I want to go back to sleep and I
Because want to go
can't.
back to sleep. So your level of frustration from 0 to a 10?
6.
6. And the level of anger from 0 to a 10?
5.
5. So the frustration is higher. So let's start with the frustration and see where it goes. Do you feel the frustration anywhere in your body when you think of that?
In my head.
In your head. All right. So let's do our first round. So repeat after me and know you can change my words anytime or add anything or cut me off if you need to. Even though I'm feeling this frustration in my head.
I'm feeling this frustration in my head.
Because my kids woke me up at 5:30 this morning.
Because my kids woke me up at 5:30 this morning.
And I couldn't get back to sleep.
And I couldn't go back to sleep.
I deeply and completely accept who I am.
And I completely accept who I am.
And even
though
I'm feeling this frustration in my head.
I'm feeling frustration in my head.
Because my kids woke me up at 5:30 this morning.
Because my kids woke me up at 5:30 this morning.
And I couldn't get back to sleep.
And I couldn't go back to sleep.
I deeply and completely accept who I am.
I deeply completely accept who I am.
And even though I'm feeling all this frustration in my head.
I'm feeling all this frustration in my head.
Because I can't get back to sleep after my kids woke me up.
Because I can't back to sleep after my kids woke me up.
I deeply and completely accept who I am.
I deeply completely accept who I am.
Top of the head, this frustration in my head.
This frustration in my head.
Eyebrow, this frustration in my head.
About this frustration in my head.
Yeah, because I couldn't get back to sleep.
Because I couldn't get back to sleep.
This frustration in my head.
This frustration in my head.
Because I couldn't get back to sleep.
Because I couldn't get back to sleep.
This frustration in my head.
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 So let's just stay here for 1 second. And I want you to take a breath. Thinking about your kids waking up at 5:30 this morning. Frustration 0 to a 10.
0.
0. What's showing up instead?
Anxiety.
Anxiety about what?
to wake up, like my body says, oh, okay, or my mind, okay, we are awake, so we have to do things.
Mm.
So my anxiety, I can feel it now.
0 to a 10.
8,
Feel it anywhere in your body.
my chest.
Okay. And correct me as we do this round if needed. So even though I am now feeling this anxiety in my chest,
I'm now feeling this anxiety in my chest
because my mind says we're awake.
because my mind says we're awake.
And even if it's 5:30 in the morning, we have to do things.
Even if it's 5:30 in the morning, we have to do things.
Yeah, I deeply and completely accept who I am.
Deeply, completely accept who I am.
And even though I'm feeling this anxiety in my chest now,
I'm feeling this anxiety in my chest now.
my kids woke me up at 5:30 in the morning.
My kids woke me up at 5:30 in the morning.
And my mind automatically thought
And my mind automatically thought
that if I'm awake now, I have to do things.
if I am awake now, I have to do things.
I deeply and completely accept who I am.
I deeply and completely accept who I am.
And even though I'm feeling this anxiety in my chest,
I'm feeling this anxiety in my chest,
I deeply and completely accept who I am.
I deeply and completely accept who I am.
All right, top of the head, this anxiety in my chest.
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 Okay, I could feel it right now.
I can feel it right now.
This anxiety in my chest.
This anxiety in my chest.
Good breath. What are you feeling right now when you think of that anxiety in your chest?
I think is decreasing.
Okay.
And I can hear like a voice that it says, but you have to do these things. Anyway.
Oh, you have to do these things. Whose voice is that you have to do these things?
Yeah, it's a, I don't know, it's a sense of responsibility or impatience.
What would it be like? And we're just going to play with a scenario here. But can you imagine what it would be like if you didn't have to do things at 5:30 in the morning? If it was okay that your kids woke you up because of what's going on in the house and they needed you at 5:30, and that you could just take that time to enjoy it with the kids as opposed to having this sense of responsibility. What would that feel like?
Nice.
Nice. Does the thought of that bring up any emotion in your body right now?
Peace.
Peace. Joy. So can you imagine tomorrow morning when they wake you up at 5:30 in the morning? I want you to close your eyes and see the kids waking you up at 5:30 tomorrow morning. Can you imagine just not having to do anything at 5:30?
I can.
Okay.
And somehow I don't believe it's possible.
Mm-hmm. How true does that feel? It's not possible for me to not do things.
10.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of things to do.
All right. So even though
my house, my work, even though
it's not possible for me to do nothing at 5:30 in the morning.
It's not possible to do nothing at 5:30 in the morning.
I deeply and completely accept who I am.
I deeply completely accept who I am.
And even though
just
thinking of waking up at 5:30 with the kids tomorrow morning.
Just thinking about waking up at 5:30 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah. And not doing anything.
and not doing anything.
It's not possible for me.
It's not possible.
So I'm just going to add this here, and if it doesn't feel right, don't say it, but I have to start my day as soon as I put my feet on the floor.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
I have to start my day. Yes, immediately.
Immediately. I deeply and completely accept who I am.
I deeply, completely accept who I am.
And even though
the
kids most likely will wake me up at 5:30 tomorrow morning.
Most likely will wake me up at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah, but it's not possible for me to do nothing when I first get up.
But it's not possible for me to do nothing.
I have too much
They
to
wake
do.
me up.
Yeah.
Too much to do.
Deeply and completely accept who I am.
I deeply, completely accept who I am.
Even though
it's
not possible for me to do nothing at 5:30 tomorrow morning.
It's not possible to do anything at 5:30 in the morning.
I deeply and completely accept who I am.
I deeply and completely accept who I am.
It's not possible for me.
It's not possible for me.
I have
to
to stay. Oh, it's not possible for me to stay still.
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 Mm-hmm.
I have to do things.
I have to do things.
I have to do things.
Mm-hmm. Not possible for me to stay still.
It's not possible for me to stay still.
So we're going to do another round, and I want you to tell me about that. It's not possible for me to stay still.
It's not possible for me to stay still because I'm delayed. I have so many things to do. And the day is short. I need more hours.
Mm-hmm. It's not possible for me to stay still.
It's not possible for me to stay still.
The day is way too short.
The day is way too short.
And I need more hours.
So
the minute my feet hit the floor.
So at the minute my feet hit the floor.
Even if it's 5:30 in the morning.
Even if it's 5:30 in the morning.
I have to do things.
I will find the peace when I finish those things.
Yeah, that's a belief, eh? I will find peace when I finish those things. But what if, this is just a what if planting a seed question. What if you could find peace first, and then those things would be easier to do?
Wow. Good question.
No question.
Answer.
No answer. This is not to have an answer.
No.
This is just to plant a seed. It's not possible for you to be still.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to do that.
I don't know how to do that.
Peace before I finish.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Just the concept.
Wow. A deep one.
It's not possible for me to be still.
It's not possible for me to be still.
Yeah, because I don't
too
have
many things to do.
Too many things to do.
Too many things to do.
So when you think about that, I have too many things to do. What's the first emotion that pops up for you?
Anxiety. My chest.
Okay. So this is where we're going to break this down. So I just want to explain this for everybody. So too much anxiety, too many things to do means there's too much, there's too many things. So I want you to list like 5 of those things you have to do. Just top level.
I have to finish something at work.
Okay. So
a big program.
Okay. So finish work.
Creating. I'm remodelating, I'm decorating my apartment.
Okay.
So it's a mess right now. And I need the peace to finish
Mhm.
everything.
Okay. So you've given me a few big areas of your life that are, I'm going to call out of control. I don't know if that's the right word for you, but seem out of control in the moment. So how
Completely.
would we, so Coco and I will take this off camera in a little bit to work on these specifically, but I just want to tell people how you would do that. We would finish this program at work. What are the specific pieces of that that are causing you anxiety? So that you can start reducing the anxiety. Because if we just tap on, even though I have this big program that I'm trying to do for work, all this anxiety, there's just too much there. We really want to start getting specific on what part of that program. Is it creating the modules? Is it, specifically breaking it down to do the tapping on that? Same as with the remodeling, would be more tapping where you would go, what is the stress about the remodeling? Is it having too much mess in the house? Is it the kids waking me up at 5:30 in the morning? Is it the cost that's now more than what we expected? Is it? And taking those things one at a time to do the tapping so that you can reduce your overall anxiety. Because tapping on, even though I have all this anxiety with all these things to do, will never get anywhere because that's too big. So that will be work that we'll do on the side, but a good lesson for everyone to know that we have to start then breaking these things down and setting goals. What's my next thing to do? And then using the tapping to help us achieve that next goal. Your next goal might just be to sit at my computer for an hour today. And then what are the emotions thinking about that? Well, I'm overwhelmed because I don't know where to start. So tapping on the overwhelm, thinking about sitting at the computer. It's how we're going to start breaking this down so that Coco can get moving with what she needs to do. But let's go back to just remembering your kids waking you up at 5:30 this morning. So if you go back there just to test to see. Okay.
It's fine.
It's fine. And they're going to wake you up probably tomorrow morning at 5:30 again.
No, it's funny. No, it's funny.
It's funny. So what's one thing, Coco, that you can do today or tonight in order to help yourself tomorrow morning? So it's, it's most likely going to happen again. It's only a temporary situation, but what can you do to help yourself tomorrow morning? That's the one thing.
To go to bed early.
All right. So go to bed earlier tonight, knowing that you most likely will wake up at 5:30. Does that feel doable to you? It feels good, like it feels like the right step.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, so we can stop tapping. So this was awesome to show people exactly what it's like in a tapping session and with real life. Like our kids do wake us up early when we don't want to. So thank you so much for this, Coco. So what's one big takeaway for you today from this session?
Well, two things. I can't go to bed earlier if I'm going to have a bad night. And I know that in advance.
Yeah.
And that I can find peace right now. Right here.
Find peace right here, right now, even with all the stuff going on around me. Cool.
Exactly.
That's beautiful.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So let's finish our work off camera.